52% of the world lives in one of 496 locations now. And every single second, 2 people are moving into one of those 496 cities. Okay? What we have done is we have created what's called the shadow of the city. Okay? In the shadows of the city are where the urban poor are living. So what we have is we have tremendous pressure that's coming in on our cities right now, and that is happening going around the world. So as we start looking and we're sitting here, that is where we really need to be asking governmental questions. What in the world are we going to do? Okay? We're not going to stop the growth. People are coming to survive. They're consuming on the city. They're getting rapidly growing. So all of a sudden we have infrastructure issues, utilities, transport, we have food issues, we have water issues, we have sanitary conditions, we have living issues, we have housing issues. So as we're looking at the larger cities, we need to think about that. If we come back into the region, I don't think it's fair to address the region singularly, okay? I think that each part of the region has very different issues that are going on inside of it, okay? I think that you're sitting in regards to the Emirates, it needs to be sitting looking, saying, how's it going to leverage to go globally? Okay, it needs to leverage where it is to go back out. If I'm sitting in Saudi right now, and if I were His Majesty King Abdullah, okay, I would be very concerned when 70% of my population is under the age of 29. Because all we have to do is become a student of history, and we realize that one of 2 things happens, either reform or social unrest. Anytime a country has seen that mass of youth, it has led to reformation in the country or social unrest, which has led to civil war. And unfortunately, Saudi is sitting in a position right now where they have to address what is this going to look like. So if I'm sitting from the government of Saudi's perspective, they have to deal with job creation. They have to deal with understanding what work looks like, and they cannot do it in the public sector. It's going to have to move into the private sector. They have tremendous issues going on. If we move into the other countries of the region, it changes a lot. Oman is in a very different position because of its expat-national relationship, the way it is and contained. But really what the issues are, if I had to say the underpinning of all of this is, we need to look at the sociological data, the fact, and we need to leverage that to make the change. Can Saudi afford to go slow in its reformation process based on statistics? No. It has to move at a rapid pace because otherwise the problems are going to come out. So they have a speed issue they have to deal with. They have to grow the private sector simultaneous to it. So they have to change the whole talent equation. I guess what we're coming down to is the same points apply, don't they? They just look a little bit different in the way they go about it. They're looking internally. One part of, there's one answer to your question that's clear cut, and then it gets into a lot of complex things. You should look at a workforce. You should advise your clients to look at a workforce as though it's a permanent, temporary workforce. And let me describe what I mean by that, okay? The job for life days are gone. Okay, absolutely over. So the reality is our workforce does recycle. Okay, now how long we engage for is the fact that changes inside this equation. Now, most everybody in this room has worked with consultants at different times. When you engage a consultant, you engage for them for a particular amount of time, for a particular cost, for a particular deliverable. Okay, so when I'm thinking of an employee, and this is where it breaks down a lot of times, we actually think about cost. We don't always think about the specifics on the deliverable and how long that should be taking. Now, I'm not advising to go to contract labor. I'm advising to change your mentality. So if I'm hiring Gallup and he's coming in and I'm thinking, okay, the likelihood, if I look through his CV, he typically stays for 2-year stints. The likelihood is I'm probably going to get 2 years out of him if my environmental factors are similar to everything he's had before. Now, there's things I can do to probably change that as well. So I look at it and I go, okay, for 2 years, and he wants X money and I'm willing to pay X. What kind of deliverables do I want in that 2-year period of time to where I'm happy with it? Now, I can work during the 2 years to extend that, to change environmental factors in my company, to get the right individual matched to the right environment for organizational success. Okay? So I can work across that path to extend it, but I need to step back and understand probably 2 years, I'm going to get this is the cost, I'm happy. If I get more, alhamdulillah, I did even better. Now, what you brought up in addition to that, you said if they're in customer service, should they look elsewhere? We should probably start breaking some of those norms down. I've heard of a lot of clients putting extremely unrealistic restrictions on employment in this region. Matter of fact, in this city. Okay, saying if you don't match X, Y, Z, you can't work here. The interesting thing is the global leaders probably don't match X, Y, Z. So here I have this qualification, must have 15 years experience, must be Arabic speaker, must have 6-country experience, and I go down this list and I'm going, now on this side of me, I have an individual who is the global leader, but he doesn't match this list. And we come back and say, didn't match the list, you're out. I think we need to reevaluate what we're really after. Thank you.